on a second. Listen, no, hold on. Hold on. I want to talk about Gaza for a minute.
So things are getting absolutely embarrassing for Kamala Harris. I mean, she can't do a speech, she can't do a rally without getting booed or heckled or protested these days. I think this is like the 5th or the 6th one in a row that's happened, and it's pure comedy to watch in real time. So last night, while Donald Trump was rocking the Madison Square Garden, had it packed to the brim, thousands more people outside, Kamala Harris was doing a rally in Pennsylvania, and it went just as you would expect. Watch.
And here's why. Because we are focused on the future, and we are focused on the needs of the American people, as opposed to a Donald Trump who spends full time looking in the mirror, focused on himself. Hey, you know what? Hold on a second. Listen, no, hold on.
So this comes after she was protested and heckled at the black church that she went to for her inauthentic pandering to black people that she's been doing. People are just fed up with her, and I don't blame them. This is what happens when your candidate is extremely unlikable, extremely unpopular, and inauthentic. People are upset that they didn't vote for this person, and now she's representing their interest, and they know that she's gonna lose. All the joy, all the vibes, all the love have dissipated into thin air, and now they're just left with this awkward situation of, oh man, is this really our candidate? It's like when you go out drinking with the boys and everybody's having a great time and it's just love and joy. I love you, bro, so much. And then you wake up in the morning with this massive hangover and everybody is upset and in a bad mood. It's like her campaign went from honeymoon stage to hangover stage. And it's like people were so enthused at first, I guess, because Joe Biden looked like he couldn't even put 2 words together and was going to fall down and kill himself. But now they're sitting here like, oh man, I don't know if she's any better. In fact, she might be a whole lot worse. And not to mention her dud of a running mate, Tim Walz. And what was he doing while all this was going on? He was playing Madden on livestream with Super Commie AOC. Now, I don't get this strategy, right? When old people try to connect with young people, it always comes off so cringe, so just awkward. And do they not understand that when an old person does something to try to relate to a young person, the natural reaction for the young person is to immediately drift in the opposite direction. That thing is no longer cool anymore. So the fact that they're on this, oh, I can connect with the young voters because we can live stream and Twitch, and I don't know what they were thinking. It's like when your parents try to talk to you in your own lingo, it comes off so cringe and it just makes you feel weird to the core. And I suspect this is how everybody watching this live stream felt. So what was the point of this live stream, you may ask? Well, it was to discuss the scary, scary boogeyman, Project 2025. Go ahead and watch.
Are we going to play some ball or what are we going to do?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready to play. Are you?
I'm ready to get beat.
All right.
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do this thing.
I keep going back to this. This is Project 2025 from Personal Freedoms. I think a lot of folks on here are kind of independent folks, independent thinkers about things. Why would you want the government telling you what books to read or what doctor to see or how big your family can be? That kind of stuff is ridiculous. And so I think you talk about football planning, it's the same way. If you're going to draw up a playbook in football, you're going to use it. Those guys drew up a playbook, and it's Project 2025.
And they put millions of dollars into Project 2025. You don't spend millions of dollars without planning to use it.
Oh, God, no. And it's all these people around him. And J.D. Vance said, I don't know anything about it. He wrote the foreword of the book of The Architect. Who wrote that?
So there you have it. The ultimate man's man, football-loving, axe-in-hand, lumberjack, tree-chopping, shotgun reloading, pheasant hunting, Tim Walz playing Madden, trying to tell you guys about Project 2025. And I just can't figure out why this is the strategy that they're implementing in the home stretch of the campaign. It's like Project 2025 is old news. And people have either baked it in and said, okay, I don't like this, I'm not going to vote for him, or they don't care, they don't believe it, and they're still going to vote for him. They're trying to bring it back up as if it's something that's going to sway people who are undecided or independent at this point, instead of just addressing the issues that people are expressing are important to them. And it's impossible for them to do so because the track record of Kamala Harris is, I'm going to make every single one of these issues worse for you. I mean, it has to be so difficult, right? Being the incumbent nominee, and you can't run on a single thing that you've done well in the past 4 years. Like typically, if you're an incumbent, the strategy is, well, we've done this, we've made your life better here, this is how we improved here, so this is why you should keep us in office. But the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz playbook is, oh, we don't want 4 more years of this. It's like 4 more years of what? You guys? Donald Trump wasn't in office the last 4 years. So their strategy just is completely mind-blowing. And that's why they're seeing the lack of support that they are. But now to Trump's monster Madison Square Garden rally. I mean, this thing was huge. He brought out an Avengers level lineup of speakers. He had Dr. Phil, Hulk Hogan, Dana White, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek, JD Vance, Elon Musk, Melania spoke there. I mean, it was absolutely huge. And it just goes to show the level of enthusiasm and support that there is for Donald Trump. Not to mention, New York City is a deep blue city. And he brought out a crowd that Kamala Harris could only dream of bringing out. It was super dope to watch. I'll play a little clip right now so you can see a bit of it. Nothing too exciting went on, but again, it just goes to show how much real support and fandom there is behind this guy. Watch.
I'll tell you something, I don't follow the polls. I don't follow the pundits, but I follow the energy. And this does not feel like second place energy in here tonight.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook.
The Harris campaign is very proud that it received the endorsement of 50 former CIA agents and officers, and of John Bolton, and of Dick Cheney. These are the people that gave us the war in Iraq.
If I win, we will quickly build the greatest economy in the history of the world. Which is what we had in our last term. We will rapidly defeat inflation, and we will very simply make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable.
So in typical fashion, Kamala Harris and the liberal media are losing their minds over this Madison Square Garden rally. Kamala Harris was asked about it, and listen to what she has to say. It's ridiculous.
Some people who watched that made comparisons between a rally that happened at Madison Square Garden in 1939 with neo-Nazis or Nazis back then. Do you see those comparisons? And can you also expand on what he said and what you said yesterday about Puerto Rico?
Donald Trump this is not new about him, by the way. What he did last night is not a discovery. It is just more of the same and maybe more vivid than usual. Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other, fans the fuel of hate and division, and that's why people are exhausted with him. That's why people who formerly have supported Donald Trump, have voted for him, are supporting me, voting for me. People are literally ready to turn the page. They're tired of it.
And to give Kamala some credit, she was right about one thing. We are tired of the divisive language, but from her. Does she not understand that when you call Trump Hitler, it's not just an extremely disingenuous personal attack on him, it's an attack on all of his supporters? I mean, calling him Hitler and then also acknowledging that half the country likes this man, you're essentially calling us Nazi supporters. So it's like, when you talk about divisive language, what's more divisive than calling half the country Nazi supporters, white supremacist supporters, fascist supporters? It's completely insane that she says these things about him, but doesn't think about the ramifications of who she's actually insulting. Maybe we like Donald Trump because we like his policies. Maybe we like Donald Trump because he was strong when it came to foreign policy and kept the world safe. But to basically say that he is a Nazi fascist implicates all of his supporters as Nazi fascist supporters. So she's right. We are tired of the divisive language, but it's from her side. And the same thing with the liberal media. They're losing their minds because 85 years ago, there was a neo-Nazi rally that happened at Madison Square Garden. And they're trying to draw all these parallels between Donald Trump's rally last night and the one that happened 85 years ago. Despite the fact that the ideologies are completely different. You can't just call somebody Hitler because you don't like them and expect for people to say, you know what, that actually makes a lot of sense. No, it makes you lose credibility. It makes you look like a fear-mongering idiot, and that's exactly what's happening. So take a look at what MSNBC had to say about Trump's rally last night.
Amisha, what do you make of Trump holding this rally at this location 10 days out, and how do you think it will affect his supporters?
This is Trump choosing to play, a game of fascism. This is a guy who is appealing to racists. This is a guy who's appealing to xenophobia. This is a guy who believes that his base is people who want to take America back, people who don't want to see immigrants, people who believe in his narrative that immigrants coming to this country make America trash. He needs somebody to blame. And right now, for the white grievance politics he is running, his group to blame is anyone who is not a member of his white supremacist base. So if you're black, if you're brown, if you are indigenous, if you are of an immigrant background, that is what he is doing.
He's using this rhetoric to get these folks, to get them out to vote. I just wonder, is he also doing this to get them to go the next step? And that is to incite violence, to have them do violence if he doesn't win.
So despite the fact that Trump has not called for violence, has not told his supporters to be violent, they're making the claim that that's what he's actually doing. And I just don't see where they're getting this information from or where they're getting this opinion from. This is the reason that so many people are tired of the legacy media, is because they're disingenuous, they're liars, and they're fear-mongers. And they're the ones pushing this divisive rhetoric, basically implicating half the country as evil, bad people. And you wonder why people are trying to assassinate Donald Trump. I mean, it's simple logic. Most people would believe that if Hitler was assassinated, that would be a net positive for society and history. So by drawing the parallel between Donald Trump and Hitler, you are openly inviting violent attacks on the man. You can't say that you want civil political discourse while also labeling somebody in such a nefarious way that we can all agree violence would be justified if this comparison was accurate. So I think it's definitely disparaging to the Democratic Party to continue with this messaging, especially so close to the election, as they're trying to win over independents, because it makes them look radical, it makes them look unhinged, and it makes it look like they have no policy or plan. All they can do is simply slander the other side. And if these people are still independent and undecided, that means they're considering Donald Trump. And you telling them that if they're considering this option, they're actually supporting Hitler, when to this point, if they're still considering him, that kind of messaging hasn't been effective towards them. It insults them. It makes them think that you're not engaging in honesty and you're not being fair in your assessment. You guys can let me know your opinions down in the comments section below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you got any value out of this, make sure you send it to a friend. And if you haven't seen my last video about Kamala begging for black support while the hood is absolutely infatuated with Donald Trump, make sure you check that out. It should be popping up on the screen now. And I will see you guys in the next video.